Gentlemen, and everything in between, I have a banger for you from this website I just discovered, eFootball Hub. Those of you who have been playing eFootball, I'm sure you know about this. If you don't, though, if you're newer, you just don't know about this website, check it out. There's so much in here. There's a ton of different player databases, which I knew there had to be. But with the little bit of research I did, I haven't found anything close to as good as this. And we are going to bring you the OG God Squad tier list, formerly known as OG International, but I have so many quality players in my team. Just completed a fully double boosted squad. Had to put the period on it with a goalkeeper. We finally got Czech in a double pull with Czech and Beckenbauer. We had already got Augenthaler. So we have quite a squad, and I figured what better way to talk about the players I have and that I'm going to pretty much be playing with until there is some incredible... I mean, you're going to have to really sell me on the spins that I have. I have about 8,000 coins left. That doesn't include any coins I might earn in game. Obviously, I use those most likely for spins as well. But I don't plan on putting any more money into this game for a while. I've dumped quite a bit in the about a month I've been playing to get a fully top-rated squad, and that's exactly what I did get. But I'm not just going to keep spinning because I like, Samuel Eto'o better than Ibrahimovic or Pele better than R9. Yes, I know some of these players aren't in the game, but you get what I'm saying. All these players are incredible in their own right, and I essentially just made my choice based on the availability of players. Didn't go for everybody. I'll give you an example. Early on, when I wasn't quite committed to the game fully, I didn't go for Thuram. And I'm glad I didn't. I think it's pronounced Thuram, actually. I probably just said that wrong. But either way, the right back, Thuram, the France international legend, defensive fullback. And the reason why I'm glad I didn't go after him is because I'd be in a pickle right now since I like one of my wingbacks to be attacking. Hence why I went for Zanetti and got him on the second spin. I didn't have to spin for the other or get the other two players, on my hunt for him. I got him right away. It was a beautiful thing. The same with like Cruyff and Cantona. I was able to get them on the second spin. So some of these players that I have on the bench that are just incredible that would be starters anywhere else, it wasn't like I just got them to get them. I ended up on the hunt for other players, getting them on the way, if you will. So with that being said, I have quite the squad, and we're going to go through the tier list. Now, my tiers are names, have a bit different names. I'll explain that as I go through. So we're going to start with the lowest tier, which honestly I could have added an extra tier, which is essentially not playable, but why even go over those players? The next above that would be the E tier, which is for events. So we start out with the lowest rated player, in my opinion, on my team. That's a Ferran Torres, player of the week. He can go into the middle a little bit, but he's better on the wing. And he actually did do a pretty good job. That's just how good my squad is player-wise. Pep Guardiola, he was a player I got in a bundle for cheap, a couple bucks out of the store, whatever you call it. And he was good at the beginning. He's an orchestrator, did a good job as sort of a deep-lying playmaker when, I didn't have a very good squad. So he did very good. He's one of my first boosted players, as well as this next event tier player, which is David Villa. Now, he is a dummy runner, so I did not like his movement, but his finishing was phenomenal. Dayashimi, he holds a close place in my heart because he held it down as the anchor man in my team for the longest time, all the way until I got my current starter, which many of you know. If you don't, though, I'm going to hold the suspense for you as he's further up the tier list. But Dayashimi, fantastic player. If you have him and you're not sure about him, I'm telling you, a great anchorman. I also had him in UFL and even in FC, but FC he was more just a squad battles player. UFL he actually started for me a bit at the before I got all the green skin players. So I love Dayashimi, and he is an excellent player in eFootball as an anchorman. Next is Ribéry, a player we got for free. Not the best now that I have all these excellent players, but at the time when I had him, incredible on the ball, pretty dang slow this version of Ribéry, but incredible on the ball, great finishing, and he did a good job while he lasted for me in that more of attacking midfielder role. I didn't really play him on the wing because of that lack of speed. Last but not least, Erling Haaland. He actually could possibly be higher up on the tier list. Some would argue this because this is a fantastic card. He is like a poor man's color, if you will. At least this version. I know there's some insane versions of Haaland, but this version's like a poor man's color. He's not as good as far as his accuracy on heading, but he will get up and win the ball in the air. Great at knockdowns. Once he gets his momentum going, even on the dribble, even though he's not as shifty, he can break away from some defenders. So an excellent card, and he did well for me towards the beginning. Now, we get in the substitute tier. This list of players, some of these players pretty recently were even in my starting lineup. So in the actual, this shows you how good my squad is. It's just some very good players. But we're going to start with the lowest rated in this sub list, which I put Hakimi. I just recently got him. He's a fullback finisher, and he could easily come in for many teams just because of his speed alone and run up that wing. Although he does go more into the middle as opposed to an attacking fullback who goes down the wing, like my current starting wing back. But even that, just rushing into the middle, being almost like a faux pas or a faux central midfielder, I guess you could call it. But he doesn't have the best passing, so that's why I put him in the sub list. However, if you need a good fullback finisher on the right side, free-to-play player, go after this Hakimi. Now, the next player on this list, Dembele. This is a center forward version because it was one of those mix-ups. In FC, they have a shapeshifter is what the promo is called. This, I'm not sure. I just know these type of cards, they mix up the positions. And there were some good players from this promo, and you see 3 of them in this list. I'm going to talk about 2 more. But this Dembele was pretty good and even had pretty good finishing. Usually Dembele gets robbed. Everyone thinks he's the worst finisher ever, which he might not be the greatest, but he's not as bad as they usually think. This one had pretty good finishing, and he was an advanced striker with that speed that he has. They actually took some away, at least in this version. I haven't played with any other versions in eFootball, but still, very good card. I got him from a team pass, and he did some damage when he was on the field for me. Rafinha, this is his left mid version, right? He's typically a winger, prolific winger, or a roaming flank. And this particular card, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I actually used him more centralized in an attacking midfielder role or a secondary striker, and he did pretty good, like I said, at the time being when he was in my squad as a starter. After he came out of the starting lineup, I increased my squad's level pretty quickly, so he went from starter to just not playing at all. But kudos to this Rafinha card, was excellent when he did play. Marquinhos, just recently got him, and he is actually on my bench right now. He is a substitute for a player further up the tier list. He is a build-up center back. Anybody who knows Marquinhos knows how he plays. He's excellent on the ball, very good in the air despite a lack of height, despite a lack of some of the strength and bruiser mentality that some of the center backs have. But he's just an extremely smart center back, always does a good job. And when needed, which is sparingly if ever, he can be a good sub. Moving on now, this Jude Bellingham card, brand new. I chose the wrong version. I do not have the Player of the Week version. I actually meant to choose. This is the one I have is the Real Madrid, the recent one with I think there's 8 or 11 Real Madrid players. I believe him as well as Mbappe were the 2 best. And again, this is another player that could be a starter in many squads and do just fine. This one's either box to box or whole player, if I'm remembering, or maybe even orchestrator. Either way, you get what I'm saying. He is an excellent midfielder that does what he does. These Bellingham cards, all these different play styles, because he matches any of them. That's the thing with Bellingham. He's such a well-rounded player, and this card's no different. Another player that could be a starter in many squads and do well. Now, another player that I hold dear to this squad, to my history in this round of eFootball, this Moises Caicedo card. For one, I'm a huge Caicedo fan in real life. He is the anchor man that I would want in my team present day. There's no other player I'd pick besides Moises Caicedo. He could easily play right back for Chelsea or his national team. I believe, what is it, Ecuador or Venezuela? I can't remember which. But obviously you wouldn't want him out of the center of the park, right in the center of the action, getting interceptions, tackling. He's just a beast of a player, and this right back defensive fullback card was insane. Used him for the longest time until I wanted more of an attacking player, and he did a fantastic job. Last but not least, another bombshell player. Honestly, I got him from this most recent team pass, and the only reason he's not in my starting lineup is because you'll see later in the tier list why. But he is a fullback finisher, which many players don't like, so he doesn't just zip up the wing. He goes into the center more as like a center mid when you're in the attack. But I loved it because he joined Pirlo as more of a central midfielder, and then he's always getting back in position at wingback. And even though he didn't have the strongest defensive abilities because he was more about getting into the attack, he still did a great job at right back. So this is an excellent card. If you're in need of a right back, or maybe you want a fullback finisher, you're curious if you should get the team pass for this card, I'm telling you, get him. If nothing else, he can be a great sub. Now we move into the starting 11. Now this is for my squad. There's some teams, especially free-to-play teams, where these players will be God tier or S tier, whatever you want to call it, elite level players. In my squad, though, I have them as starting 11. So we will try to go just the bottom row for now. Actually, there's only 3 of them, so there is no bottom row. But first off, the Neymar that I most recently got, right? There's a Neymar and a Messi, and they were trying to get players to buy these 2 different versions. Even if you had the you didn't want the deluxe version or whatever, these cards just alone without all the other extra cards and kits and stuff you got were great. I didn't even get the deluxe version. I got the regular, I think it was $16 version just to get Neymar, as well as you'll see if I got Messi or not. But even though they seem similar, this Neymar, he's just missing some key areas. Still a great player, incredible dribbler, one of the best in the game. As someone previously said, both the Neymar and the Messi you can dribble like they're FIFA players, which if you know how it is in eFootball, you know that's pretty powerful. And he does a good job, just like I said, lower in finishing, not the best crosser. So no matter if you want him as a cut-in type of winger or an attacking midfielder, I mean, he's just missing some passing, some shooting, some things like that. He's pretty much just a monster at dribbling with just decent stats in other areas. So he gets in the starting 11 just because he's, above God tier in dribbling. But I was a little underwhelmed when I got Neymar. Next on the list, Gnabry. He would be higher up, but the biggest thing hurting Gnabry is that inconsistent form. Many times you don't even want to play him because his form is bad. And so he has that special edge crossing, which is amazing, especially if you have a big man or a great header, player that's great at heading in the center of the pitch, because that edge crossing is just so powerful. Not to mention, even if you took that away, he'd still be in this category because he's an incredible dribbler, excellent passing. He can finish the ball off, right? You can cut in with him and almost use him as a prolific winger, a roaming flank, or whatever you want. His play style is, edge crossing, crossing specialist, and he has edge crossing. And you can play him on either the left or the right. Preferably for me, I like him on the right, but even if I put him on the left, his weak foot is good enough. It makes no difference. It's literally just preference why I like him on the right. But he's great on either side, which that's dangerous too. If it's just on one side, pretty easy for opponents to prepare for. But you can switch them out as you want. I actually have Gasparini. I have 2 different tactics, right? And when I switch to my sub tactic, I usually switch them all the way across the field. And it can throw off the opponent because many times players will man mark him just so he can't get those insane crosses off. So when you switch him to the other side of the field, it throws them all off. I love it. So that's an extra bonus to having him. He's not just a one-sided player. Last but not least, this player is borderline elite. One of my best, if not the best, super sub I've had, and that is this Kylian Mbappe in the same box, I guess you would call it, as the Bellingham card I reviewed earlier. The Real Madrid, 8 players or 11, whatever it is. I think it was 11 players, you get 8 spins or something. Or maybe 8 players and you could get all of them if you wanted. The 2 that I wanted, really it was only one. It was Kylian Mbappe, who I got. But if I had to pick 2, it would have been him and Bellingham, and I got them both, so that was cool. But he's just a speed demon, excellent finishing, excellent dribbling, decent passing even. I would say the biggest thing he's missing is skills. He definitely needs some good additional skills, but just a phenomenal super sub for sure. And an advanced striker, which is a position that I lack, as you see below and as you see as I keep going above the list. I believe this is only my second advanced striker behind... The only other one is that Dembele mixed position card or whatever in the sub tier. So excellent Kylian Mbappe card. Still in the store, I believe. So if you want to, I strongly suggest you can go get him. The most you'll possibly spend is $8. And again, if you get Bellingham, it's another player you could put right in your starting lineup. If you're free to play, I don't see how you don't go after this Mbappe unless you have a better version already. Now, the next tier, second on my tier list, it is the elite tier, right? This is above starting 11. This is elite players, and that would pretty much go into any starting lineup. Now, For me, it's not the case that they all go into the starting lineup, because if you see my squad, you know I have some insane players, but all these players are excellent, and I have them in order. Just like the rest of the players, they're actually ranked. And the best is yet to come. So stay tuned for the next video covering the elite and G tier, the God tier players. Coming soon. Peace.